Hello everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Veil Tarot and Astrology. My name is Candice Marie. Thanks for joining me. I will be your tarot reader today, and this is going to be the taroscopes for the month of December 2025. If you guys like this content, you want to see more of it, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, click that bell button below, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Consider sharing feedback in the comment section or sharing this with your friends and other tarot lovers. I have cooked up a new end of the year tarot spread for you guys to give insight for the 12 signs astrologically. So do listen to your rising sun or your moon sign for your December predictions. Now this is going to be purely tarot, so if you guys want to see more astrology, check out my December 2025 horoscopes. That's going to give you the insight to the transits for your rising signs to get a fuller picture. Now this month we are going to be doing a 7-card spread, and it's going to be the same format for each and every one of the 12 signs. The first card we're going to be starting off with is going to be giving you some insight to the big lessons for 2025. So the takeaway of what we learned over the last several months and kind of encapsulating the end of the year themes. Now we are also going to see what we are leaving behind in 2025. That'll be the second card. So this might be things that we might need to let go of or we might need to kind of wrap up. And then the third card is going to be the 2026 sparkler energy. So this kind of represents what we're going into the new year focusing on and some of the major themes. Now, then we will see the fourth card is going to be all about money and abundance, what's going on with your finances this month. The fifth card is going to be all about love and relationships. The sixth card is going to be all about your career or your purpose this month. And the seventh card is going to be some insight to health or your mind, body, spirit. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Definitely give me some feedback in the comments and how this resonates at the end of December. And we'll get going with the first sign. What's up, Aries and Aries risings? Welcome to your December 2025 Taroscope. I hope you guys enjoy these. We're going to kick off your reading with the very first card, which is going to represent the big takeaway lesson that you have had in 2025. So the card that you guys get is the Tower card. All right, so obviously the Tower card is a major arcana. This can be a heavy-hitting card, which really talks about 2025 being a year where there was a lightning kind of struck scenario that hit every false structure that was in your life this year. And it could have been false structures that you yourself were hiding in. You know, maybe this year you learned your true power is about rebuilding and not feeling rescued throughout the process, just kind of letting the chips fall as they may. And yes, certain things fall apart, but it's been about certain things coming together in the process. So major shakeups, makeups, breakups took place this year. And as you head into 2026, it's all going to be about rebuilding. Now, the second card is going to represent what we are leaving behind in 2025. And the card that you guys get is the Eight of Swords. So for me, this kind of represents realizing that there are certain things in your life where you have to take the blindfolds off, right? Where you have to really see things clearly and realize that there are some mental limitations that you have been dealing with this year and that they need to be dissolved, that there is no more of this I can't because stories heading into 2026. Now, this is also about realizing that there are certain things that have come up this year that have been more limiting mentally than physically, and willingly kind of recognizing where you're getting in your own way and no longer wanting to feel stuck. I think that's really what you're going to be leaving behind. Makes sense with some of the planetary energies entering into your sign next year, where you really level up and you're not focusing on feeling unseen or victimized by circumstances. You're really feeling empowered. Now, the third card that you guys are going to get is the Sparkler energy for 2026. So this is what we are going to be kicking the year off with. And the card that you are going to get is the Knight of Wands. So this is going to represent for you guys, I think, really about this more can-do attitude. I think this is going to be more about you guys looking at things and taking action. So this is, you know, impulsive fire. This is traveling. This is being creative. This is also focusing on movement. So some of you guys might be moving into new careers, moving to new homes. Maybe you are relocating. And this is about launching things and taking action. So it's about kind of riding off into the sunset and doing the things that are going to make you feel the most alive. And it's also going to be about momentum, leading the way and feeling brave and opportunistic in some new things that are coming into your life. So this is about, I think, really embracing some of the excitement that's going to be happening, maybe being, in action or being mobile or traveling, and this quest for things that are going to make you feel inspired. So that is how the year is going to be kicking off. Now, when it comes to your money and your finances this month, let's see what card you get. You get the 10 of Pentacles. So 10 of Pentacles is a great card. Obviously, you're wrapping up December where there is a lot of work to be done, a lot of money to be made. I do think that this is also a card that deals with long-term financial planning. Maybe it's going to be for, your savings. It could be for your investments, and thinking about where you see yourself down the road. So general wealth, generational wealth comes up with this card. So it can be touching on topics of inheritance, maybe property sales, maybe there is a business payout of some kind that can be happening this month, or maybe you're finally feeling rich in your state of mind. You're really feeling the abundance and you're feeling like you want to share that with other people in your family, or you want to really take pride in a sense of having completed a lot and wanting to be able to share that with those who you love and who are closest to you. Now, that also means that your money is going towards family or business related things. So watch for that to be happening, especially towards the tail end of December. The fifth card for you is going to be more about love and relationships. And the card that you get is the Two of Cups. So obviously this is a great relationship card. This can represent that this is a time of soul recognition with other people, getting together, making connections with people who you really are strongly attracted to. It could also mean that there are contracts that are coming up this month, mirrors also of, where have you kind of been all of my life moments with people. New relationships can be started, especially in the month of December. I feel like a lot of it is going to be about where you're working together with another person. You're finding ways to be able to be a better partner, or, maybe find somebody who is going to be a better partner. And I think that this is going to be taking place, obviously, in a very public setting. So business mergers, contracts, new, commitments or renewals of existing commitments can be a theme. And it's all about working together with those that you love. Now, in terms of your career, the card that you guys get this month is the Emperor. So the Emperor, obviously, as your card is an Aries or an Aries rising. This is about kind of sitting on the throne that you bled for. I think this is about titles, maybe focusing on, kind of getting your corner office in order. Maybe you're crowning yourself your own CEO of your own empire. This can also represent leveling up, being the boss, or taking center stage when it comes to your professional life. Making big decisions and also showing up and leading other people is going to be a theme in your career this month. And then finally, for health, the card that we get for you guys this month is the Four of Pentacles. So this is a card that is about kind of knowing when to hold on to something and when to let go. I think my advice for the Four of Pentacles for December is not clenching onto stress, right? Noticing where you're kind of clenching your jaw or you're not wanting to let go of something. Maybe there's too much that's on your shoulders this month and you're feeling like it's time to kind of release and let it go. And obviously money can flow better when the body kind of surrenders and is open to receiving. So don't get too wrapped up in what's going on financially. I know there can be a lot of shocks and surprises happening with Uranus in your money house, but I feel like this is about you kind of letting go and going, you know what, it's going to ebb and flow, but it's going to be okay. This could also mean that you're really budgeting and kind of structuring your finances this month. And once again, not only thinking about your long-term goals, but also thinking about your personal values. So remember, money is a kind of an energy. It has to be in flow. If you're holding on to it too strongly, you're not going to be able to kind of release it and bring more of it in. And if it's too free-flowing, then it could be a situation where you're not able to really take stock in what you have and make sound financial decisions. So try to practice moderation when it comes to your finances this month. Now, I hope this is helpful in helping you navigate December, and I'll catch you guys back here in January. What's up, Taurus and Taurus risings? Welcome to your December 2025 Taroscope. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to give you guys a reading to wrap up this year. Now we're going to start with the very first card, which is more or less the big lessons and the takeaway from 2025 of what you have experienced. And the card that you guys get is the Death card. All right, Taurus. Well, 2025 feels like maybe it was a slow, kind of like luxurious funeral for who you used to be. This can also represent major transformations that was taking place in your opposite sign, Scorpio, which is some big relationship changes that have happened here, especially over the last couple of weeks. My advice is with 2025 and the Death card coming up, it's about not crying over the comfort of your, not crying over the coffin of your comfort zone. I think that this is about really letting go of what hasn't been serving you, recognizing there needs to be a big change, and feeling relieved with what actually left your life this year. Now on to the second card, this is going to be more revolving around what you're leaving behind in 2025. Okay, so the card that you guys get is the Seven of Pentacles. I think you're leaving behind waiting for the perfect moment, waiting for the perfect moment to make a change with your work, your relationships, your career, your finances. And I feel like this is also about you recognizing that harvest time is now. So rather than waiting to, wait for the perfect moment, you guys are taking risks and you're taking chances. You're also more focused on, I think, enjoying the fruits of your labor and not overworking yourself and feeling stressed out. Now, the third card is going to be the Sparkler for 2026. So it's what you're kind of entering into the new year with. And the focus is going to be the World card. So I love that card for you. This can mean that this is connected to Saturn cycles and things that are kind of like wrapping up. It can also mean that this is about you traveling, so like passport stamps, diplomas, mortgages being paid off, and really feeling like you're free in a way that you have never been before. Completing karmic lessons and cycling things out and really going, okay, what's in the past is in the past. Now it's time to move forward and kind of initiate or start something brand new. So I love that energy for you guys. I know some of you guys may actually be traveling, so that can definitely be one of the themes that's coming up this year. Now for your fourth card, this is going to be about your money and your finances. And the card that I get for you guys is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is a great card. This means that it's possible that you might find this month that there is some kind of fat, shiny thing that you kind of accumulate, whether that's a bonus or you're getting a chunk of change or a nice gift. It also means that this is about you planting seeds in December for things that are going to be manifesting over the next year. So it can be starting a savings account. It can be making a small investment. It can be taking the beginning steps to start a new business. But your mind is on your money and there is good money news or something valuable that's likely going to be coming your way this month. Now, the fifth card is going to be about your love and relationships. And the card that I get for you guys is the Knight of Cups. So keep your eye out for a water sign, a Cancer, a Pisces, or a Scorpio. This can be about a new romantic kind of entanglement. It can be somebody who wines and dines you and sweeps you off your feet. This can also be a feeling of somebody coming into your life that's offering you comfort and care. And it also means that you yourself might be displaying some of this in relationships, being more sensitive, being more vulnerable, being also more emotionally, I think, like transparent with other people about what you're looking for in relationships and feeling that there is a sense of excitement because something can grow. So if you're in a committed relationship, this can be a time where there's a lot more affection and a lot more things kind of flowing with that person. And if you're single, keep your eyes out for somebody who might be popping in and you could meet them somehow connecting to travel. That's something that I would watch for. Now, the sixth card is going to be all about your career. And the card that I got for you guys is the Three of Pentacles. So working hard, obviously, this is about mastering something, working as a team. It can also mean that, this is a month where at work, you're finally getting recognition for your contribution to something that you've been doing with other people. It can also mean that you're building out a brand. Maybe you're collaborating with other people at a higher level, and that there is a sense of getting a lot of work done, but that's because it's this cohesive energy of working with other people and being a part of a team. So take credit where credit's due, but also give some to other people and focus on being able to kind of deliver at work and being a part of that kind of necessary team that's being able to kind of complete this process and feeling like you're starting the year off, having kind of wrap stuff up, but also feeling like, you're proud of who you're able to kind of work alongside. And then the seventh card that you guys get is relating to your health. And the card that I got for you guys is the Sun. Obviously, if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, some places aren't seeing a lot of it right now as we're heading into winter. But this is a card that's about, golden energy, sunshine, vitality, and, warmth. So it might mean that this is a time where you're needing to supplement a little bit of extra vitamin D. It can also mean that you're doing anything that's connected to like saunas or infrared, and also focusing on happiness and joy, needing to kind of inject some of that into your daily routine and your habits to feel a little bit better. Or anything that's going to be boosting your vitality or anything that's going to be boosting your immune system is something else that could potentially help. So if you're not able to get some sunshine, obviously, like I said, infrared lights or saunas or anything that's going to stimulate that can definitely be good for your health, but also for your mood. Taurus, I hope that December is a beautiful month for you guys, and I will catch you guys back here in January of next year. Hey Gemini and Gemini rising, welcome to your December horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. Excited to chat with you guys about the month of December. We're going to start with the first card, which is the overall lessons that you learned in 2025. The card that I get for you guys is the Devil reversed. Okay, so difficult card. I'm assuming this is connected to some of the kind of challenges that you've been experiencing in your work and your career. But I think that this is about recognizing where you need to kind of unplug from like doom scrolling, also gossip or any kind of mental limitations. And it's also about you seeking freedom, and that if you have to, find that freedom, what you have to kind of detach or remove yourself from in order to feel more so free. So once again, bad habits, work habits, any issues where you have felt kind of limited, you're walking away from things that have made you feel trapped or unable to move forward. I think you guys will be happy next year when Saturn leaves your sign. I think that's definitely going to give you a bit of a break. And then the second card is going to represent what you're leaving behind in 2025. So you guys get the Five of Swords. Obviously, this is about feeling like you need to win arguments, right? You're ready to leave that behind because you realize that nobody wins whenever you're in that situation. Everybody's going to kind of get worked up or get their feelings hurt. Maybe you're feeling like you're ready to leave behind any conflict and you're ready to embrace peace, because peace and working together with other people can actually be your new flex. I think that really resonates with a lot of the energies that's going through your chart. I think that this is about you recognizing where there's been some uphill battles and where there's been some challenges, not only professionally, but also in your relationships. And you're ready to leave all of that conflict behind and you're more focused on being a team player. Now, the third card is going to be the 2026 Sparkler. So this is what you're going into the new year with. And the card that you guys get is the Page of Swords. So I love that for you as an air sign. It can be representing you personally, where you're learning new ways to communicate and having a razor sharp mind this year. So maybe you're more vocal about your dreams. Maybe this means for some of you guys, you're focusing on a book deal or maybe a course launch. There can be some like viral, moments that can be happening on social media. It can also mean that this is the time where you're really focused on learning and turning over a new leaf in how you communicate with other people. And obviously, like a true Gemini, staying curious throughout the process. Now, the fourth card is all going to be about your money and your finances. And I get the Six of Pentacles for you guys for this card. So this is a great card because it's like this giving and receiving energy. So it can mean that you're really balancing the scales quite beautifully this month. Maybe there's opportunities for bonuses. Maybe there's going to be scholarships or even like repaid debts that can be going on. And random acts of kindness and cash can definitely flow in. So remember to pay it forward. Try to be generous with other people. Know that the universe is going to repay you and then some. And it's about being able to help support other people and also receiving support and being able to vocalize and kind of communicate where you need some assistance. So think about like joint financing, budgeting, talking about where you can kind of help pick up the slack for family or for partners, and vice versa. You're going to see a lot of the same thing come through for you this month. Now, on to relationships. The card that you guys get is the Lover's card. I always laugh when you guys get this. Because obviously this is your card. As a Gemini, the Lovers represents that duality, coming together as a pair. And this is about, in the month of December, choices being made from the heart space and maybe not necessarily the head. I know, easier said than done. This is also a very harmonious kind of duality in relationships. And if it's you plus them, everything is better together. So this is about thinking about how the decisions you make and the moves that you make, how it's impacting your relationship with another person. Now, if you're single, it can represent possibly finding somebody or some kind of, karmic relationship that can pop in. It can be about somebody coming in right at the right time, and really enjoying a lot of togetherness and going deep when it comes to passion, pleasure, and vulnerability with relationships. So keep an eye on how people are kind of filtering into your life right now. They might be coming in to kind of help you focus on feeling more safe and secure and going a little bit deeper when it comes to emotions. As for the sixth card, this is all about your career. And the card that I got for you guys is the Eight of Wands. So this is about messages flying. This is also about launches and travel. This can be a card that's about everything kind of accelerating right now and really kind of accelerating for the better part of like the next 8 weeks. As we are then getting into March of next year, you're going to see some stuff that's really going to take off. I attribute a lot of this to, the conclusion of Saturn being in your career house. I think this is also probably about you having a little bit more motivation to get the show on the road and to be launching things and kind of starting the year off with some fresh new energy, and also a lot more vitality and excitement when it comes to your career and your professional life. And then the final card that you get for your health is the Temperance card. Okay, so this is about moderation. This is about balancing things. The Temperance card can talk about, the alchemy of breath, taking time to do some breath work or some exercises to kind of calm the mind. Maybe having better sleep or practicing more moderation when it comes to drinking and celebrating during the holidays. Likely this month, you guys will discover that there is a middle path that feels like ecstasy, or it feels like it's kind of working, where you're not doing too much, you're not doing too little. And this is also about finding that mind, body, spirit balance. And then if you're kind of bringing in the necessary factors of doing the, kind of breath work or meditative work and doing the physical kind of activity and also finding a balance with your diet, everything is going to come together beautifully and you're going to feel a lot more sound mind. So Gemini, I hope that this is a beautiful month of December for you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this reading, and I will catch you back here in 2026. Hey Cancer and Cancer Rising, welcome to your December 2025 Horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to give you some insight for the month ahead. I've got 7 cards here to give you some, predictions for what to expect in December. All right, so we're gonna start with the first card, and this is gonna be your lessons and your takeaway from what you experienced and learned in 2025. The card that you get is the Moon card. All right, so for you guys, I feel like this has been a year of really paying attention to your gut and your intuition. This has also probably been feeling like there's been a whole swirl of either psychic fog or maybe some dreams that are trying to tell you something, or maybe there's been some emotional themes coming up connected to your family. But obviously by the end of 2025, you made it to the shore wiser and I think a little bit more emotionally available. Trying to make sense of just the ups and downs of this year, what's your responsibility and what's not, has made you feel probably a little crazed. But I think that it's actually really good because you have had to lean on your intuition a little bit more than you typically do. I blame Jupiter in your sign for that. And I also feel like this is about you realizing that it's okay to make some changes in the way that you're responding to things emotionally. And kind of filtering through some of the range of kind of emotions that have been coming up this year. And there are some places where you're kind of having to kind of, buck up a little bit, be a little bit more mature, and probably be willing to be a little bit more assertive. And there are other areas of your life that things have been popping up where you realize your emotions are trying to tell you where there's been some blockages that need to be acknowledged. So obviously the Moon card is your card, so I'm not surprised by that. Now the second card is going to be about what you're leaving behind in 2025. The card that you get is the Four of Cups. I think what you're leaving behind is this feeling of being blue or kind of sulking. It can also mean that maybe you're realizing that there have been some situations where you've been really emotional and not totally available and not seeing what the silver lining is or what's being offered to you. And so I think that in 2025, what you're leaving behind is not paying attention to the positives and things. This is also about you being eyes wide open, seeking the good in other people, seeking the good in situations, and really believing that something better can come for you in 2026. Now for 2026, the card that you get is the Chariot. So this is another card that's associated with you. Obviously, you know, the Chariot card is, I think 2026 saying it's going to be a very quick moving year. Maybe it's about emotional mastery and moving or making changes with your home or changes with, you know, your family. This could also mean that you're now feeling more confident in steering the Chariot and really feeling like there's no more kind of getting sideways because of some work drama or some family or relationship drama, and you're really full steam ahead, focusing on your goals. And so for, like I said, for some of you guys, it's going to be career related. For others, it's going to be movement or things going on with family. But I would really say that you want to get things in order and really have a positive kind of outlook at the beginning of the year, because it's going to be pretty quick moving. Now, the fourth card that I got for you is on your money, and the card that you get is the Nine of Pentacles. So this is an excellent card. This is about indulging. This is about being self-made. It's about luxury. So this can mean that there is some good financial stuff happening this month. Maybe you're indulging in yourself a little bit more. It could also mean that this may involve something connected to real estate or anything revolving around safety, abundance, and security. It can also mean that you're investing in yourself more, you're knowing your value, and you're feeling more confident. I know a lot of you guys have been having to invest in yourself more for health reasons, or you have been trying to kind of better your health, so some of those luxury expenses may be tied to that. On to love, the fifth card we get for you is the Ten of Cups. Wow, great cards for you guys. This is like your rainbow over the home kind of emotional fulfillment month. When it comes to marriage, when it comes to relationships, family, to me, it seems like this month is going to be very memorable, both in a relationship sense, but also in a sense of who you're spending time with and feeling very rich emotionally because of who's in your life. You may also notice that there's a lot more love coming from family or from relationships at home. There can be a sense of fostering better relationships and feeling very proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Maybe having everybody at home in a home setting, you know, makes you realize just what you truly value and how amazing the people are that you can call part of your family. That these are people who have your back and really value you, and it's going to be kind of like a cup runneth over month. Now, for your career, the card that I got for you guys is the Queen of Cups, which obviously being a Cancer, this is also very much connected to you as a water sign. So I think if you're in a career that is about using your intuition or healing, or maybe if you're involved with therapy, or if you're involved with anything connecting to emotional relationships, one-on-one partnerships with other people, you're going to be very successful this month. And the reason being is that with the Queen of Cups, you know, your empathy almost becomes your paycheck. It also means that you have to be really checking in with, how do you feel about what you're doing? Do you feel very emotionally tied to your job? Do you feel like there is some kind of validation that you're getting from other people, and that there is stronger relationships that's coming up in a professional setting? And I think that this is about navigating any potential career changes more in an emotional or an intuitive sense. So if something feels good, you're going to lean more into it, you're going to enjoy it, you're going to work harder, you're going to be more successful. If something is telling you, hey, something needs to change, or there needs to be a shift here, you need to pay attention to that, because it's going to be kind of highlighting some of the bigger themes going into 2026, where many of you guys are going to embark in some big career changes. And then finally, for your health, the card that I got for you guys this month is the Strength card. So obviously strength is about gentle power, kind of taming the inner beast. So when I see this card coming up for your health, I think, well, you know, anxiety or feeling emotionally overwhelmed can definitely be a theme if you're ruled by the moon. But this month, maybe it becomes more of like a kitten that's in your lap. You know, you're not learning to push your feelings to the side or ignore your anxiety or ignore some of your health issues. You're learning to cope and work with them and be in tune with them, so you're not allowing it to be overwhelming. I know a lot of you guys are coming out of a period where you've been more focused on your health with the recent retrogrades, and I feel like this is about not compartmentalizing that and just putting it away. It's recognizing it, dealing with it, learning to work with it, rather than letting it become all-consuming. So Cancer, I hope this is a beautiful month for you guys. I will catch you guys back here in 2026. Hey Leo, Leo rising. Welcome to your December 2025 Horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to do a reading for you to give you some insight on what December has in store. Now we're going to start with the first card, which is going to be more your lessons from 2025, what the takeaway was for you now that we're coming to the end of the year. The card that you get is the Star card. So obviously for you guys, this has been a year maybe of some ego deaths. Maybe it's been about learning to shine just for the joy of shining. Maybe it's about the audience for you becoming optional. It can also mean that you have really realized who your true friends and allies are, and that you're more focused on your goals now more than ever. And obviously the Star card does have some correlation to Aquarius, which is your opposite sign. So it can be talking about not just your relationships with friends platonically, but also romantic relationships as well. So whatever is taking place this year, whatever has changed, it's kind of left you more in a positive, open-minded mindset, really focusing on what the future holds and who you can connect and collaborate with the most. Now, the second card is what you're leaving behind in 2025. And this is the Five of Wands. So you're leaving behind maybe fighting with other people, maybe fighting for the spotlight because you recognize and you realize it was always yours. Maybe you're over your kind of, competition era. Maybe you're realizing that it's time to work together and not kind of fight uphill or fight the inevitable. And you're also over just having conflict. So you're not wanting to take that into this next year. You're wanting to be more open and embracing, connecting and collaborating and having more diplomacy in your life. Now, the third card is going to be the 2026 Sparkler. So this is what you're going into this next year kind of feeling. And the card that I got for you guys is the Magician. Wonderful card for you guys. I think a lot of this is also kind of connected to obviously Uranus, which is kind of dancing in and out of your natal 10th house. So there is lots of positive changes that can happen very suddenly or sporadically when it comes to your career, your status. But this coming up for 2026, it basically means that you have all elements kind of at your hand. And you have the opportunity to literally manifest whatever it is that your heart desires. So whatever you declare going into January of 2026 is going to start happening. So be mindful of your mindset, be mindful of the laws of attraction, what you're thinking about, what you're talking about. Literally, the universe is responding to that. The Magician is about, I think, being able to make magic happen with having very little resources. You just have to simply believe. And then for the fourth card, this is going to be about your money this month. The card that I got is the King of Pentacles. Great card. I don't think you could pick a better one. Mind being on your money, but feeling like you're managing things very well and then some. So maybe you're kind of feeling like you're very abundant, you're very capable, you can provide for other people. It can also mean that you're making mature investments. Your business can thrive this month. That's definitely a theme. And maybe you're buying the nicer or the finer things this holiday season. So you're treating yourself, but it's not stemming from a place of indulging. It's because you feel like you've worked hard and now you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. This is going to be your love prediction. We have for you guys here the Six of Wands. So this is basically going to represent you taking a victory lap when it comes to relationships. I think you guys will be getting a lot more recognition in your relationships. Maybe there's an opportunity for there to be a big accomplishment that comes up in a partnership, talking about engagement, talking about long-term, kind of connections and what your plans are. And if you're single, if you're not in a relationship, this is about you being very prideful about that and feeling like you're your best self, even though you're not connected to another person. Maybe this can mean traveling, parties, celebrations, or social connections that involve travel that would allow you to connect with someone, and giving yourself a pat on the back for what you have been able to kind of endure this holiday season. Now for your career, the card that I got for you guys is the Sun, which is a beautiful card. I mean, this means that there is going to be a lot of success. There is a lot of success that has come after some delay. It can also mean that you're approaching your career in a much more joyful kind of manner. And it can mean the literal spotlight. So you can give a presentation, you can be seen more this month, you can get recognized for the work that you're doing. And there can be almost kind of like creative birth that can be happening professionally for you. So think like launches or new plans that you have going into 2026. They're all going to start to kind of come together now. And then the final card that you guys get, this is going to be your health card. The card that I get is the Ace of Wands. And I love that for you as a fire sign. I feel like this is about raw life force, feeling passionate, feeling creative, feeling active. So you might notice that there's more confidence this month. Maybe you're having some good hair days. It can also mean that you have a stronger kind of libido. And everything this month is really kind of growing and evolving, and it's because you're staying active and you're staying warm. So don't slow down. Make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to stay physically active. Try to incorporate I think ways of working out that can feel more creative. So think like dance or ways to be able to incorporate fitness while still having fun. And also doing everything possible to just continue to keep feeling energized. So staying on top of anything that can be warm liquids, warm herbs, just staying warm in general, especially if you're in the colder areas of the world, because it's going to keep that motivation flowing, and it's going to help you feel like you're feeling really positive and optimistic about some of the health changes that you have made recently. Once again, your astrology kind of reflects that. Capricorn season is definitely very strong for getting back to the gym, being physically active, and maybe doing things where you're kind of pushing yourself. But the confidence that's going to come from some of these new commitments to your health, routines, I think is going to be quite beautiful. So Leo, I hope that's a good month for you. Definitely let me know what happens, and I'll catch you guys back here in 2026. Hey Virgo and Virgo rising, welcome to your December horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. Excited to be back. I have a new spread for you guys for December to see what the energies look like this month. Now we're going to start with the first card, which is going to represent your takeaway and your lessons from 2025 in a nutshell. And the card that you guys get is the Hermit card. Obviously, this is your card. So maybe this year you learned quite a bit about solitude. I think it's been your biggest teacher. Obviously, with eclipses going on in your sign, the South Node in your sign, there's been a lot of having to let go of the old and having to do some soul searching in the process. Maybe this is there that you kind of finally heard your own wisdom, or you learned to kind of take some of your own advice. Even if that meant you had to go your own way, or you had to kind of spend some time behind the scenes, it's definitely been a rearrangement or a reassortment of who you are in comparison to other people. Now, the second card is going to represent what you are leaving behind. And the card that you get is the Knight of Swords reversed. So for you guys, this means that there's been maybe some really kind of mentally brutal kind of things that have happened this year. Maybe there has been some kind of lashing out because there's been a sense of being hard on yourself, or maybe you have been too much of a perfectionist. But it means that you're now retiring that. So the negative self-talk, the afraid to have certain conversations with people, or feeling like you're approaching situations in a combative fashion, you're not doing that anymore. You're leaving that behind in 2025. Now for the 2026 sparkler energy and what you're kind of going into the new year with, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wonderful energy. I feel like this is where, destiny now can kind of spin a little bit more in your favor. It can also mean that the moment that you stop micromanaging things and you let the universe intervene, there can be some big lucky breaks that can happen. So you're learning to kind of roll with the punches. Obviously, the Wheel of Fortune never guarantees fortune per se, but it does mean that there are certain kind of energies that come in that kind of switch things up to get you on the right track. So watch for more optimism, allow things to kind of shift as they may. Know that the universe is working in your favor, and that there's likely going to be good things to come at the beginning of the year. Now for your fourth card, this is going to be all about money. And the card that I got for you guys is the Four of Wands. So this could mean that it's possible this month, you are putting money towards parties or celebrating or hosting. It could mean there's maybe a bonus coming in or a home purchase. But certainly community support feels like it's kind of allowing you or helping you with the process of laying down roots, and that this could actually be something that is an amazing celebration for you. So I know that you're coming out of a pretty brutal retrograde in your home zone. I know some of you guys are literally rearranging your home, or you're changing homes, or you're renovating homes. But I feel like all of that kind of mix up that's been happening is to kind of help give you a stronger support system and root system as well. So money being put towards home family gatherings is definitely going to be a theme for the next month. Now, the fifth card is going to be what you need to know about love, and you get the Queen of Pentacles. So if you're a Virgo female, obviously this is pretty much pretty right on because you're an earth sign. But even if you're not, it could mean that you're embracing more of the feminine qualities of the Queen of Coins. So she's sensual, right? She's nurturing. Maybe she shows love through acts of service or through gifts. It's about embodying this kind of energy and attracting a match in the process. So If you're wanting people to be more generous, if you're wanting people to be more affectionate, if you're wanting people to be, you know, more reliable, you're going to be kind of showing that to the people that you're in a relationship with in love. It could also mean that you know your worth and that you're investing in yourself more and you're not willing to settle in relationships, and that you're really taking care of yourself and treating yourself well, and showing that to other people so you can bring somebody in who is a vibrational match. Now, for your career this month, you have the 10 of Wands reversed. So obviously this can represent feeling kind of at the end of your rope work-wise. Some of you guys can feel a little burnt out. You can also feel like there is a sense of, you know, not having appropriate boundaries at work, and needing to learn to kind of delegate tasks better and to be able to kind of ask people for assistance. Maybe it's that you're getting to the end of the year and you're like, oh, thank God, you know, I really needed a break. And it's about really letting things like leaving work at the door, not taking it home, not taking emails and other things outside of, you know, business hours, and learning to say, it's okay, I've had enough, and like knowing how to say no. And suddenly that becomes like the secret kind of sauce to relieving yourself of some of the pressures and expectations that you're dealing with in your career. Now, the final card that you get, this is going to be on your health. You get the Judgment card. So obviously, kind of like a full body, kind of like karmic reset. So the Judgment card is going to be about dealing with chronic issues that need to dissolve, because you're getting the message that's like, hey, I need to actually make the change. I would say with, you know, Pluto in your house that deals with health and work, and also knowing that the new year is going to kick off pretty much the second month of the year with eclipses that are going to start impacting your health. I think that you're starting to get the messages now about how you're working, and if it's not really conducive to you being able to sustain those types of schedules or those types of work environments or those types of habits. So it's coming up for you loud and clear now. Take it seriously, you know, respond to those messages, be proactive, and also realize that you really do need a little bit more rest this holiday season than some of the other signs, especially if you want to get your work or your health affairs in order at the beginning of the year. So listen to your gut and what your intuition is telling you, and don't overlook some of the health signs that can be popping up this month. Virgo, I hope this is a helpful forecast for you guys. I hope you enjoy December, and I will catch you back here in 2026. What's up, Libra and Libra rising? Welcome to your December 2025 Horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm excited to give you an overview for the energies for the month ahead. Now, we're going to start off with the first card, which is going to be basically your takeaway, your lessons that you learned in 2025. The card that we get is the Justice card. So obviously this is going to be calling you out, Libra. It is really focusing on karmic review and balance. So that could be your contracts with other people. That could be ex-relationships, friendships. Even your job may have come up for some kind of karmic review in this last year. I think that this is really about where, you know, fairness kind of starts with you and kind of getting into your own kind of center balance and figuring out what your needs are to better kind of readjust the scales when it comes to other people. Now, in the next card, we're going to talk about what you're leaving behind in 2025, and that is the Two of Swords. So indecisiveness, maybe feeling a bit blindfolded by indecisiveness or indecisions, and maybe avoiding to take action in certain situations. That could mean you're avoiding conversations, you're avoiding dealing with people, or discussing the elephant in the room. So with your swords down going into 2026 and your eyes open, that's how you're going to want to kind of navigate this next year. And for the third card, you're going to get the sparkler energy for how the beginning of 2026 is going to be dealing, or I guess treating you. So the card that you get is the High Priestess. I love this card. I feel like this is about you being kind of in your intuitive era, knowing exactly when and how to move. I think this is also about listening to your gut and trusting some of the downloads that come up for you, maybe over your own opinions or the opinions of other people, waiting for certain situations to come to you, not necessarily taking kind of action, but allowing things to unfold, and practicing timing and kind of trusting yourself. Now, the fourth card is going to be about this month and money, and the card that you get is the Seven of Pentacles. Not a bad card. I feel like this is about long-term investments paying off, finally starting to gain some kind of fruit. Maybe if there's been some delays with resources or some challenges revolving around seeing them come in, now you're able to kind of harvest. So it does look like there was some abundance with finances this month. I do think many of you guys are still kind of balancing out the what's mine and what's other people's stuff, but patience definitely pays off when it comes to your investments, and also anything revolving around knowing your worth. I think that's going to be a big kind of key with this card as well. Now, the fifth card is about love and relationships. You do get the Ace of Cups, which is a wonderful card potentially for renewal of existing relationships or meeting new people. So there can be an emotional new beginning. I also think that this is really beneficial because it can mean that your heart's kind of wide open. It means that this month you're really focusing on nurturing the relationships that are around you, or being more open in partnerships. It can also mean that there are some magical kind of connections happening this month, especially towards the tail end of the month. So keep an eye out for that. I do think that many of you guys are going to find that relationship renewal comes through communication, clearer communication, how you're speaking, how you're writing, how you're communicating, and also trying to kind of negotiate with other people. And that opens the door to kind of better relationship harmony. Now for the sixth card, this is about your career this month, Libra. You get the King of Swords. So channeling a much more masculine energy, right? Traditionally, you're associated with the swords, the element of air. This can mean that there is a lot of conversations with another air sign. So watch for Geminis, Aquariuses, or other Libras that can be a part of your kind of career changes. I think this might provide you with opportunities for writing gigs, speaking gigs, maybe legal wins, or anything revolving around your word and how you kind of stand up for and kind of express yourself. It can also mean that you're really mastering the art of communication, and it can be really prominent for contracts this month. I would be paying attention to that because there can be a lot of contracts and agreements that can be going on, and you're finally committing to some long-term kind of professional goals. You're maybe signing some documents that are connected to your career, or maybe connected to kind of legalities. And then the seventh card is going to represent your health. The card that I get for that is the Hanged Man. Not surprised, Saturn and Neptune are back in your health zone, so that's very much a reflection of the Hangman, that Pisces energy. But I think that this is about surrender. That surrender is the best medicine. Learning not to push yourself too hard, too long. Maybe it's going to be about kind of like calming the adrenals a little bit. I think of like the Hangman as like, literally, working in yoga, doing aerial yoga, doing stretching, any poses that's going to kind of get things flowing again, and releasing any tension or any pressure, and the positive impact of kind of taking a step back and resting, and how that can actually impact your emotional or your mental health. So I think that that's definitely pretty bang on. Maybe you feel a little stuck or suspended in a situation, or you're dealing with an illness or something that's requiring you to slow down. But I would say, take the rest when necessary, and see the benefit of slowing down, especially when it comes to your mental health. I think that's really beneficial. Watch your sleep too, with the Hangman kind of coming up. Libra, I hope that this is helpful for you for December, and I will catch you guys back here in 2026. Hey Scorpio and Scorpio rising, welcome to your December 2025 Taroscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to chat with you about what's going to be happening for the next month. And I've got a 7-card spread here to give you insights into the energies at play. So we're going to start with the first card, which is going to be all-encompassing your lessons from 2025 and what the overall takeaway of this last year is. And the card that you guys get is the Devil. Okay, so maybe this is a year where you started to see some negative energies that were kind of bubbling up. It could have maybe represented some difficulties in some health habits. It could have been some mental habits, some communication habits. But this is about you really kind of seeing your shadow this year and kind of looking at it eye to eye, and realizing that it's time for you to let go of things that have had power over you. I also think that this is probably about reclaiming your power in the process. Obviously, this card can be connected to, mental habits. It can be addiction issues. It can be limitations. And I know a lot of you guys have been kind of facing some of those, either health or habit-related themes that have come up with some of the transits in your 6th house. So it's been a precursor of some stuff that you kind of have to take, care of in 2026. Now, the second card is going to represent what you are leaving behind in 2025 before we head into the new year. And the card that you get is the Nine of Swords. So you're leaving behind like the 3 a.m. kind of like guilt spirals, right? You're leaving behind the nightmare loops or the doom scrolling. Maybe this means that you're finally kicking this energy to the curb permanently, that you are no longer wanting to stress out and worry about things or feel like you're taking on too much. It also means that you really want to reclaim your health or your sleeping schedule back and having some sense of mental peace. So you don't want to be worrying going into 2026. Now, the third card is going to give us some information about what the 2026 period is going to feel like, what the sparkler is as we head into the new year. And the card that you get is the Empress card. This is about a rebirth. This is going to be about focusing more on, obviously, creativity. It's going to be about kind of feminine energies, mother figures, motherhood, anything that deals with really prominent women in your life. And this is really about, I think, everything you touch turning into something that is beautiful. Now, that could mean it could be art, it could be money, it could be babies. But this is definitely this nurturing energy that's coming in where you're really focusing on wanting to have growth and wanting to have abundance that's all around you. So it's a great card. Now, the fourth card is going to be all about your money this month. The card that I got for you guys is the Eight of Pentacles. Obviously, mastery equals money with this card. So the skills that you're obsessing over quietly can pay off like tenfold. This also means that if you've been working hard, you know, you're going to start to see that value in your bank account, or you're going to start to see that all of the hard work is going to produce some kind of fruit. And it has not been easy. It looks like it's been quite exhausting to kind of get to where you are now. But practice makes perfect with the Eight of Coins, and it makes me feel like you're finally starting to get into the groove of starting to see resources show up. And so I know that you've had a retrograde in your money house in the last month. There has been some slowdown or reevaluating your worth or, you know, what you have, but you're going to see a pretty strong period from the end of November into December that can be very good for my Scorpio risings financially. So keep that in mind, that you're going to be rewarded for your effort. Now, the fifth card that you get is going to talk about love. So the card that we get is the Three of Cups. This can feel like there is the soul tribe that's coming in. You know, there could be a lot of good connections that you have with friends and family. But obviously this is a relationship reading. So I think of the Three of Cups as like, okay, you know, friendships that could feel like there's some romantic opportunities, getting closer to people that you meet in a social setting. This could also be where two become three. So it could mean that certain committed Scorpio or Scorpio risings can be kind of embracing or moving into a phase of having children. I could also see this as a time where you're just really feeling that maybe you have to make some choices or some options in relationship. Am I choosing this person or am I choosing that person? Both are kind of pulling me in two different directions. Which one do I want? They both have their positive qualities. So certainly there could be, you know, too many options or too much of a good thing that can be coming up as well. But watch for growth that can happen in relationships through the support that comes from other people. And if you're single and you're looking to mingle, introductions, friends or family playing matchmaker can also be a good theme, because you could meet somebody in a way that involves other people, which could start as a friendship and develop into a relationship potential. Now, for card number 6, this is going to be about your career. The card that you get is the King of Wands. Obviously, this is a fiery, kind of feisty fire energy, and this can be bringing up connections with Sagittarius, Aries, or Leos. But this month you're really harnessing kind of your like visionary leadership skills. And it might mean that, you know, maybe you're having to rush into action, or, you know, take some kind of responsibility, or you're having to travel for work, or there is some sense of you taking some professional risk. It also means that you might be the person that people are calling on to kind of lead some kind of group project or anything revolving around negotiations or sales. I think that's very strong. It's very likely for a lot of Scorpio or Scorpio risings. Really strong month, especially for anything that's connecting to advertising or sales. So I do think that you're getting a little bit more creative with how you're going about promoting yourself. I also feel like anything that involves writing, speaking, or communication is going to be strong. Education could be another topic as well, that you're taking some kind of risks and you're learning something to kind of expand and better your career. And then finally, the 7th card is going to represent what's going on with your health this month. And the card that you guys get is the 9 of Cups. So I think that the takeaway here, especially with the 9 of Cups, is, you know, pleasure is medicine now. there is a sense of, you know, maybe I do just need to focus on positive, or maybe I do need to, you know, be bettering my emotional health because it would better my physical health. And I think that true satisfaction is really required to help your body heal this month, and that you need to be enjoying things that bring you pleasure. Certainly having Saturn and Neptune back in your pleasure zone makes me feel like mindless hobbies or things that are more spiritual or creative in nature can be really beneficial for your emotional health. So if you draw, if you dance, if you play an instrument, if you write, anything creative, it can be a really great outlet for you. And it's important for you guys to be indulging in things that can not only make you feel better, but also I think feel a little happier also in the process. So Scorpio, I hope this is a good month for you guys. I will catch you back here in 2026. Hey Sag and Sag Rising, welcome to your December 2025 Taroscopes. I hope you guys are well. I'm excited to be with you here today, and we've got 7 cards to take a look at what the general energies are for the month ahead. Now we're going to start with the first card, which is kind of like encapsulating everything that you learned in 2025 and what the lessons for the last 12 months have been for you. The card that you get is the Fool card. So I love this for you guys. I feel like it's been a year of maybe feeling like you have jumped off several cliffs without having a parachute, and maybe kind of fortunately have landed on your feet every time. Maybe this has upgraded your faith, and maybe you have learned that it's important to take risks or make changes. Whether that's with your job, with your relationships, or anything that's associated with travel and exploration. So it's been a year where you have tried to do new things. Now, the second card represents what you're leaving behind in 2025, and the card that you get is the 7 of Cups. So I see this as, where there's been scattered visions, where there's been confusion, where there has been some illusions or maybe some kind of like fantasy that, has not been landed in reality. I think in one hand with the 7 of Cups, we see potentials of what could be, but we also question whether or not we should go down that path. So I think that you're going into 2026 realizing that you need more commitment, you need to have a stronger vision, that you need to be maybe not so open and idealistic in a way, and a little bit more grounded, especially when it comes to deciding what direction you want to go in. And I think a lot of that's connected to your home. I think a lot of that's also connected to your career as well. Now, the Sparkler is the third card. So this is the energies that you're going into 2026 with. And the card that I get is the Knight of Pentacles. So watch for assistance that can come from earth signs, Tauruses, Virgos, or Capricorns. This can also mean that there is some new action that you're taking financially, or maybe there's some new change that you're making with your diet, or maybe there is going to be a shift in how you're kind of looking at your values. This is about, slow, steady progress. It's also about progress towards the horizon and things that are going to bring you long-term security and something that's valuable. So I think you're taking more action in December for going after what you want. I think especially, December into January is a very strong financial period for my Saggies. And a lot of you guys are going to be feeling like this is kind of like the not just the tail end of the year, but this is like the bulk of when you do a lot of your work and a lot of your resources start to flow in. So be willing to take financial risk. I think that this is maybe requiring some of you guys to travel for work or to make some kind of changes in the way that you're doing business. But I do feel like it is going to be about you feeling more confident in your finances and also in your health in 2026. All right, so now we've got the fourth card, which is going to represent your money. And the card that I got for you guys is the Ace of Swords. Wonderful card. This is about a new beginning. This is also connected to maybe new income coming from a brilliant idea. Maybe it means that there is this shift that's happening where, you are focusing more on writing or on podcasting or on blogging. It can also be connected to signing contracts or having some kind of negotiations or agreements or important conversations revolving around money. It's about telling the truth, being direct with people, but also this is about being willing to kind of put yourself out there and get outside of your comfort zone when it comes to resources. So that might mean you have to create a website. That might mean you have to focus on new media. That might mean that you have to learn a new app or maybe pick up a new gadget. But truth and learning is somehow going to come into conversations revolving around money. And I think it's going to be really beneficial for you to get that information out. Or be willing to take risks and initiate new ways of making money this month. Now, the fifth card is going to be all about love and relationships, and the card that I get is the Six of Cups. Wow, what a sweet card. For a lot of you guys, I would assume the last month has been kind of crazy with the retrogrades in your sign. And so this can mean that there is a making up period that can happen in relationships. It can also mean that, you know, a soulmate from the past comes back. It could be an innocent connection, but there can still be a strong pull because there is a sense of familiarity and safety and security with this person. It can also mean that you're healing inner child issues through a romantic relationship and somebody who's being kind of nurturing and really aware of some of the sensitivities that you have that's coming up. So if the holidays are difficult for you, or if they bring up some bad memories, it's possible that you're going to have somebody who's going to be supportive through the process. But I also feel like this is about kind of smoothing out some of the bumps that have happened in recent weeks and finding ways to be stronger in existing relationships. If you're single, I would say watch for somebody coming back from the past or some connection with somebody who's going to be feeling familiar in some way. For the 6th card, this is going to represent your career this month. The card that I got for you is the 3 of Wands. So obviously this can mean that now you're starting to see your ships come in. There is a sense of maybe expansion that's happening that involves travel. It could also be international. It could be connecting to, you know, documents, visas, passports, maybe even like book deals. If you are in transportation or hospitality, or if you are in anything that is requiring you to travel, this is likely going to be a very big month for you. And I do think the 3 of Wands is kind of like picking what direction you're going to go in and running with that. So something maybe has already been kind of initiated recently. I know a lot of you guys in this next year are going to be kicking off what might be self-employment ventures, or you're going to be doing something creative or something that's going to involve travel or even working with younger people. So I think that you're past the exploration phase. Now you're in the preparation phase of getting ready to launch some of these things. But career does look like it's going to be busy this month. And even though in the midst of the holiday season, you're still going to be moving and shaking. And then finally, the final card you have is your health card. This is number 7. And the card that you get is the Page of Cups. So this is really about listening to your dreams and also anything that's kind of coming from your body, subtle messages, emotional feelings. It can also be about intuition kind of being like your remedy or your doctor this month. Maybe it's about staying hydrated. Maybe it's also about ensuring that you get adequate sleep and you're feeling rested, so you're not having kind of issues with your mood. I could also see this as really focusing on your health and like almost trying to nurture yourself and like be your own parent this month. If that means you have to baby yourself a little bit, put yourself down for a nap, and also just being a little bit kinder and gentler with yourself. I think this is going to be a huge focus. Naturally, during Capricorn season, there is a lot of planets that are going through, the part of your chart that deals with resources, but also food. So it's about making sure that you're kind of getting adequate food and that you're eating things that are going to be comforting and really helping you kind of stay grounded. But hopefully that's helpful in giving you guys some insight into the month of December. I hope it's a great month for you guys, and I'll catch you guys back here in 2026. Hey Capricorn and Capricorn rising, welcome to your December 2025 Horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. And if you happen to be a December Capricorn, happy birthday to you guys. All right, so let's take a look at what we've got here. I have a 7-card spread for you guys for the month ahead. We're gonna start with the first card, which is gonna represent the general overall lessons and the takeaway from what you have learned in 2025. Now, the first card that I got for you is the Hierophant reversed. So obviously, Capricorn, this represents maybe kind of like burning the rule book this year. Maybe there is a sense of some of the rules or the standards that you kind of hold yourself to. You've realized it's out with the old and in with the new. And that maybe it's about kind of reclaiming your own personal authority, doing it internally or doing it in your private life. Obviously, I know a lot of this kind of correlates with your emotional authority, your authority with your family, authority with your home. But I feel like this is about getting outside of the usual ways of doing things and finding a upgraded way to kind of navigate and live your life. Now, what you're leaving behind in 2025, the card that you get is the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, so you're leaving behind fear-based hoarding. Holding on to things, holding on to money, maybe, feeling like you need approval or recognition. And also this is about not receiving. So you're going into 2026 saying, you know what, I'm not gonna have that kind of scarcity mindset. My hands are open, I'm ready to receive, and I'm ready to kind of feel fulfilled and supported and abundant. a good time to spend the end of the year, like cleaning out closets, getting rid of old stuff. If it's something you haven't used in a while, donate it, you know, junk it, or give it to somebody who will appreciate it, because you want to clear up kind of a lot of space so that way you can get ready to bring things in. And also to be able to move much more swiftly and lighter in this next year. Now, the third card is going to represent the sparkler for the year, or what kind of energies you're starting 2026 with. And the card that I get is the King of Cups. So keep your eyes out for a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. It is possible that the King of Cups means that this is going into 2026, focusing on mastering your emotions and maybe feeling like you're more secure in expressing yourself. Maybe it's about leading with your heart and, you know, not making any commitments until that really kind of checks out. It can mean that there is more of a focus on emotional harmony, emotional maturity, you know, refining relationships, taking responsibility in relationships. And certainly relationships are a big topic, having Jupiter in your opposite sign. So I do think there can be a lot of relationship opportunities that can happen for you this year that could be really serious and long-term, even potential, you know, some of you guys will get engaged or married throughout that transit. And being ready to kind of welcome that in, putting yourself out there and allowing yourself to be a part of a union rather than feeling like you have to go at life alone. Now, the fourth card that you're going to get deals with your money. And the card that I got for you guys is the Two of Pentacles. So obviously there is this sense this month of kind of like juggling stuff. You know, and juggling can very much become a bit of like an art form that can pay off ridiculously well. So yeah, you could be, you know, working 2 jobs, you could be, you know, a lot on your plate, you could be working extra overtime or other things that could bring more money in. I would say that be careful with all of the financial expenses and obligations that are kind of coming up. Something you'll see going into the new year with eclipses in your money house is there's going to be more of an emphasis in your finances and like what you're taking responsibility for, what you actually have and what you can spend. So if you guys are working hard into, you know, the beginning of the year, I feel like it's going to pay off, but it can also feel like you're making money to spend money. And so it can be this never ending cycle of not being able to kind of get off of this feeling of just kind of working to pay the bills. So be mindful of expenses and kind of taking on too much this month. Now, the fifth card is going to be about love and relationships. The card that I got for you guys is the Queen of Wands, which is great. This can be a fire sign, so a Leo or potentially an Aries or a Sag. And this makes me feel like that the Queen of Wands is a very fiery, confident, kind of sexy energy. So you're channeling that this month, even though you're an earth sign. There is a sense of you really fully stepping into that energy and really attracting somebody of an equal caliber. This could also mean that there is somebody who is reminding you of, you know, how successful or how creative or how attractive you are, somebody who's kind of like your hype man. It could even mean that there is somebody who's coming into your life that is helping you focus on refining yourself, putting yourself out there, maybe somebody who's kind of helping play matchmaker for you. So kind of keep an eye out for that. But I feel like, you know, Queen of Wands is less about relationships. It's more about the relationship to self. And if you're wanting to make some changes in relationships, a lot of that is going to start with you. Well, certainly you'll see later in the month, you're going to have Venus and the Sun, and you're also going to have Mars going through your sign. So there's a lot of charisma, there's a lot of sexiness, there's a lot of passion, maybe in a more refined way. But I feel like other people are going to see that and they're going to gravitate towards it. Now for the sixth card, this is going to be all about your career, and the card that you get is the Nine of Wands. So this means that there is a final push that's happening in December, right? It's not just because it's the end of the year. There is this push that is, you know, making it past one last kind of limitation. Obviously in December, you know, resilience can really turn into a period of time where you feel like you make some major legendary moves with your career. I know many of you guys have really been focused on that. I mean, you're always focused on that, but you've been really focused on that really since the fall. And so as we're starting to see planets now moving into your sign, you're going to start to get recognition for it. You're tired, I know that, but I feel like the Nine of Wands is about kind of getting to the finish line and not throwing in the towel. So be consistent, show up, you know, don't back down or slow down just because the holidays are kind of happening. And know that there's about to be some, I think, bigger breakthroughs in your career that's going to give you more of an opportunity to start focusing on your home life, your private life going into 2026. Now, the seventh card that you guys have is all about your health. And this is the Five of Pentacles reversed. So obviously the Five of Pentacles can be a bit of a difficult card because it is about kind of feeling left out in the cold. But when it's reversed, you're moving away from that. So it means that you're moving away from scarcity mindset. You're moving away from not taking care of yourself or overworking. You're also focusing on warmth. You're focusing on wealth. And you're letting that energy flood in. Usually when this card comes up, you feel kind of alienated, alone, and that people are overlooking you. But with this reverse this month, people are showing up to your aid. You have support from doctors or relatives or loved ones. You also realize that it's important for you to really take care of yourself, not just physically, but emotionally as well. And a lot of this, I think, is going to be about making sure that you're investing in your health and potentially even making sure that you're eating very well. So it's important for you guys to stay on top of all the vitamins and the minerals that you need. And I think that this is going to be a pretty significant turnaround health-wise. And you're going to see that your vitality is just really kind of gearing up as you're getting into your season. So ask for help if you need it. People are there. Capricorn, I hope that was helpful for you guys. And I will catch you guys back here next month in 2026. Hey Aquarius and Aquarius rising, welcome to your December 2025 Taroscopes. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm excited to be here with you today to give you some insights into the month ahead and what the cards have to say this month. So we're going to start first with card number 1, which is going to talk more about kind of the overall themes of what you've learned in 2025. The card that you get is the Page of Wands. So I see this as being like a more kind of like revolutionary energy. This can mean that there is a sense of you really focusing on staying active, staying curious, and also focusing on taking chances and taking risks. Being young and being youthful, having fun is certainly a theme with some of the pages. But I also feel like your takeaway is maybe what you've learned, where you've traveled, what you've experienced. I know a lot of you guys have been, traveling to new places, learning new things with some of the astrology going on in your chart. And I feel like it's been good for you because you've been having experiences that get you outside of your day-to-day routine, and they help you kind of expand your horizons a little bit more. So it's been a really positive lesson for you guys, I think, this last year. Now, the second card represents what you're leaving behind. And the card that I got for you guys is the Five of Cups. So obviously leaving behind, kind of mourning or feeling left out or feeling isolated or feeling sad. Certainly when this card comes up, it can mean also that there is a sense of you focusing too much on, well, what could have been, right? What could have been, what's happened, what didn't work out in the past. And you're leaving that behind. You're not harboring any, resentment. You're not focused on the past. You're detaching now, and your eyes are forward as you go into 2026. Now, your third card is going to represent the sparkler kind of energy of how 2026 is going to begin for you. And the card that I get is the Seven of Wands. Great card. This means that really you're ready to kind of defend your vision. And maybe, you're defending yourself against what you feel like is competitors or challenges. And you're getting ready to take a victory lap in this next year. Obviously, with Pluto in your sign, there's this powerful kind of rebirth that you're going through. Maybe it feels like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It can also mean that there is this sense of overcoming all of the obstacles and coming out the other side and feeling victorious and being able to kind of defeat situations that would have normally in previous years kind of thrown you off kilter. Career changes, physical health changes, relationship changes. So I do feel like you're going into this being optimistic that because you've been able to kind of deal with so much already, things can only kind of go up from here. Now, the fourth card is all about your money this month, and the card that I got for you is the Queen of Swords, which is great because obviously you're an air sign. So this means you could be a little bit more direct. Some might even say a little bit too forward or maybe even ruthless about money this month. But I feel like if you're going after what you want, if you're voicing and speaking up for yourself, that is going to bring more of a profit. That's going to bring more security for you when it comes to your finances. That means that if there's bad deals, you need to cut them this month. That means that, you also have to be able to ensure that you're communicating your boundaries and telling people what you need. If you are in communications, education, or anything that involves publishing or legal matters, it's going to be a strong month for you because you're going to really be able to lean on some of the qualities that the Queen of Wands has when it comes to communication and intellect. Can be support coming from another air sign, so like another Aquarius or a Libra or even a Gemini. But I think all in all, this means that when it comes to money, you're going to be speaking up more and telling people what you need and what your non-negotiables are in the financial world. Now, for card number 5, this is going to represent love, and the card that you get is the Two of Wands. So planning a future together with someone, planning travel with someone. It could also mean that you're looking at your relationships as, hey, like we're going to dominate the world and take all next year. But it's also about feeling very encouraged and inspired with where you see yourself going in a relationship. Some of you guys may be traveling over the holidays. Others are going to find that there is connections with people that you're meeting if you're single through traveling or learning. So try to stay active, be on the move. I don't think that's going to be hard to do for some of you guys because I know some of you guys are literally planning moves or there's some changes going on there. And I do think that the Two of Wands really is about keeping an open mind about who can kind of pop into your life. Card number 6 is all about your career, and the card that I got for you is the Three of Swords reversed. So likely you've experienced some stuff over the last month or so that feels like there's been some betrayals at work, or maybe there has been some hurt feelings, or there's been some heartbreaking situations about some decisions you had to make professionally that you weren't crazy about. It can also mean that now you begin to heal from some of those situations and doors can kind of open and you're going to see truer invitations and truer, I think, collaborations and relationships that are going to be leading you in the right direction professionally. Yeah, I think that checks out with the retrograde in your career house, and obviously with a lot of oppositions and squares to Uranus, there has definitely been some challenges in trying to figure out, where do I land, and am I going to, have my home zone rocked, or am I going to continue to repeat the same patterns at work, or is it time to get out? But I think that now you're moving away from that, and whatever has gotten shaken out has led you to some new connections to make some better decisions about your career. Now, the final card is your health card. The card that I got for you guys is the Page of Pentacles. So this means that there's a lot of grounding practices this month. You're working with your crystals, you're working with your herbs. Maybe you are making more of an effort to do some yoga or do some grounding exercises. And this can mean that you are slowly improving and making changes in your health. And that might start with what you're eating. That might start with rebuilding the nervous system. This could also mean that you're learning about how to better support yourself and your health. And I hope you guys are ready because you got eclipses that are coming in your sign. So there's definitely going to be some changes in terms of your health and your habits and your appearances. You guys will see that. Obviously, as we're going through, some of the season, there is a lot more of clearing things out that's kind of hanging out in your subconscious and making sure that you're getting adequate rest and making sure that, you're taking care of your emotional and your mental health as planets go through Capricorn, 12 signs to you. If you're doing that and you're making some of these changes slowly, I think that you guys are going to really start to see improvement in your health and your habits, and really taking the necessary time to rest and recuperate. All right, so Aquarius, I hope that this was helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you guys back here in 2026. Hey Pisces and Pisces risings, welcome to your December 2025 Horoscopes. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm excited to be back and hopefully I can give you some insight into the energies for the month ahead. I've got 7 cards here to give you some ideas of what's going to be playing out this month. And we're going to start with card number 1, which is going to give us some insight into what your overall lessons have been in 2025, what you guys learned and what the takeaway is. The card that you get is the Ten of Swords. So obviously for some of you guys, it has been a difficult year. This can kind of represent going through some of these Saturn-Neptune transits, feeling kind of blocked, limited, confused, or just flat out needing to wave the white flag. And some of you guys maybe feel like you had to kind of hit rock bottom and had like a glorious kind of bounce back from that process. So I do think that it's fair to kind of look back at this year and go, okay, that happened. Now I can laugh about it. I fell down, but I was able to kind of stand back up. Certainly the Ten of Swords does kind of represent getting hurt though, or having some uncomfortable endings or feeling like there is some betrayal. But now that you have had those endings, now you can kind of hit reset as you're going into 2026. Now, what you're leaving behind in 2025, it looks like this is going to be the Six of Swords. So, you know, you're moving potentially, or you're moving away from difficult times, or you're going into a direction where things are going to be calmer, or they're going to be much more peaceful, or you're going to have much more kind of alone time, and it's going to feel more serene and potentially even therapeutic. So you're looking at this year going, okay, that was a lot. It might have felt like a dumpster fire, but you know what? Now I'm on to bigger, better things. And so you're glad to actually leave a lot of this stuff in 2025. And I think maybe even though you don't exactly know where you're going yet, you know that at least you're going to have a little bit more safety and security with where you're landing. Now, the 2026 Sparklers, the third card, this represents the energy that you're going to be kind of going into in the new year. You guys have the Nine of Cups, which really means now you're free to do whatever you want. Doors are opening for you. You guys are going to feel more optimistic. And obviously, this is a Make-A-Wish card. So what you're wishing for is likely going to be granted. And maybe you've been asking for things, not knowing how you're going to get it. And this clearing out that's happened this year now kind of makes sense. Maybe it's like your heart's menu is serving exactly what it is that you have ordered. So think about what you've been manifesting or wishing for, what kind of life, what kind of relationship, what kind of new beginning. And you're going to start to see that pretty much come the first 3 months of 2026. Now, the fourth card is all about your money this month. And the card that you get is the Seven of Swords reversed. So it's really important to be practicing honesty in finances. I think it's not only getting honest about money, but also about how you feel about how you're making money or any kind of joint finances. I think that this is about not taking shortcuts in finances, or not, being less than honest, or maybe needing to get more clarity from other people about your financial situations. And this can also be a time where there is a sense of finding out the truth of the matter with finances as well. I do think for a lot of you guys, just thinking about the kind of precursor of Saturn and Neptune, going into your money house next year, it's going to be about making sure that you're aware of some of your financial, kind of like limitations. And if not, you're going to be made aware of them. So a lot of that truth can be coming up now, and there can be some major changes going on in terms of your relationships with your career, which of course can affect your financial bottom line. But if you're honest and you're direct about your spending, your needs, and your security, you'll be able to kind of get through that this month. The fifth card is all about love, and the card that you get is the Four of Cups reversed. So maybe it means that rather than being detached and kind of isolated and in your own kind of, situation or your own kind of emotions, you're starting to look beyond that. You're starting to kind of wake up and starting to see what's actually being offered to you or what's right in front of you. It can be the person who's been interested in you, but it hasn't been the right time for you. It could be the friend that's been trying to kind of reach out to you, but you haven't been available. And the people who are coming around that you have not been able to see. Now you can kind of start to see, okay, who is potentially a match and who can I work with? It's learning to say, yes, please, more of that. Yes, I'm open to that. Yes, I will receive that. I will kind of connect and collaborate with you. So you want to be focusing on that rather than feeling like you're kind of shutting yourself down. I also feel like there can be a lot of connections that you can kind of be making with people, especially as you get into later in the month socially. So you're going to see lots of connections first at work, and then you're going to be seeing some connections with people socially towards the end of December. Now, card number 6 represents your career, Pisces, and the card that you get is the Five of Wands reversed. So there's been a lot of conflict and drama at work, I would assume, recently. Maybe, now, any conflict or competition is now kind of dissolving into what can feel like more of a collaboration. Yes, there's been some kind of debates. Maybe there's been some issues with coworkers or with bosses, but now you're realizing, okay, if we can all work together, we can move through some of the challenges that we've been experiencing recently. So maybe you find, that there is a sense of you getting more recognition at work, but you're not having to try so hard, or you're not going at it from a competitive angle. Maybe you're connecting and collaborating with like-minded people, and you're wanting to kind of boost up what you're building or what you're putting out there, and sharing some of the spotlight with others who are kind of around you. So kind of like a tribe comes together in a way, professionally speaking, come the end of December. And then finally, the last card that you have is the card that's about your health this month. And the card that I got for you guys is the Hierophant, which can mean that you're working with a professional. So if you're wanting to see a trainer, if you're wanting to work with a therapist, if you're wanting to connect with like a new doctor, finding the best of the best is definitely the key. I know that Saturn and Neptune are now going direct in your guys' sign, so a lot of you guys have been feeling kind of tired or lethargic or under the weather. And if it means that, you're fine health-wise, it might mean that you're needing to incorporate more spiritual structure. So it's possible that, if you're really applying yourself and having a routine or doing your rituals or maybe working with a mentor, Now some kind of following the traditional path or following some kind of strict routine might be exactly what you need to kind of fall into place. And I think that that's definitely very likely going to be a theme that's happening for you guys in the midst of the retrograde. So if you're wanting to work with spiritual practitioners, or if you're wanting to work with mentors or even new authors and people who can teach you about detoxing and like better mental health or physical health habits, likely that's going to be the key to success as long as you're following that routine throughout the month of December. Pisces, I hope this is helpful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will catch you guys back here next year in 2026. And for all of you guys who watched this video, thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure to leave me a comment below and let me know how these readings and predictions kind of fall in line for you guys come the end of December. I don't always get back to you guys, but I do read the comments. And thank you so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Make sure you stay tuned because I'm here every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday using tarot and astrology to make sense of what's going on in the cosmos. You want to see more about me and my work, or you want to book a session with me, or maybe even pick up, either a calendar or a personal transit calendar, or I have some really beautiful tarot tote bags on my website. Check out the links below at head over to beyondtheveiltarot.com. With that being said, I'll see all of you guys soon. Take care and enjoy the rest of your week.